The Anglo-Saxons were a collection of Germanic peoples who settled in England between the 5th and 11th centuries CE. They were instrumental in shaping early medieval England's political, cultural, and linguistic foundations. Their story is one of migration, settlement, cultural integration, and eventual transformation as their identity merged with later groups like the Normans. This documentary delves into their origins, migration to Britain, societal structure, culture, religion, and legacy. The story of England is a tapestry woven from many threads. Few are as significant as the Anglo-Saxons. The Anglo-Saxons originated from the regions now known as modern-day northern Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands. The three main groups that formed the Anglo-Saxons these groups were part of the larger Germanic peoples who shared common linguistic, cultural, and military traditions. They were seafarers, warriors, and farmers, living in small tribal communities. These Germanic peoples, arriving on the shores of Britain in the 5th century AD, would shape the destiny of a nation. Their language, laws, and customs laid the groundwork for what England would become. This essay delves into the world of the Anglo-Saxons. We will explore their origins, their culture, and their enduring impact on England. From the ruins of Roman Britain to the dawn of a new era, their story is a captivating journey through time. The migration of the Anglo-Saxons to Britain began in the aftermath of the Roman Empire's decline in the early 5th century. With the Roman legions withdrawing from Britain around 410 CE, the island was left vulnerable to external threats. The native Britons, descendants of Celtic tribes, faced invasions from the Picts and Scots from the north. The Anglo-Saxons were not a single, unified people. They originated from various Germanic tribes, the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, inhabiting the coastal regions of modern-day Denmark and Germany, according to legend as recorded by medieval chroniclers like Bede and Nennius. A Celtic leader named Vortigern invited Anglo-Saxon warriors to help defend Britain. However, the Anglo-Saxons soon turned against their hosts, establishing control over large parts of the island. Driven by a combination of factors, including overpopulation and pressure from other migrating groups, they set sail for the shores of Britain. Archaeological evidence suggests that the Anglo-Saxon migration was not a single event, but a gradual process spanning decades. By the 6th century, they had settled extensively in southern and eastern England. The Roman Empire, which had long held sway over Britain, was waning. Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. By the late 6th and early 7th centuries, the Anglo-Saxons had established several independent kingdoms, often referred to as the Heptarchy, 7 kingdoms. These kingdoms were frequently in competition, waging wars for dominance. Over time, Wessex emerged as the most powerful, especially during the reign of Alfred the Great, 871–899, who successfully defended England against Viking invasions. This power vacuum left Britain vulnerable to these new arrivals. The Anglo-Saxons, skilled seafarers, and fierce warriors established a foothold in the south and east of the island. They pushed inland, gradually displacing or assimilating the existing Romano-British population. This period of migration and conquest was marked by conflict and upheaval. The Anglo-Saxons spoke Old English, a Germanic language closely related to Old High German, Old Frisian, and Old Norse. Old English eventually evolved into Middle English and later Modern English. Some of the most famous Anglo-Saxon literary works include the richness of Anglo-Saxon literature reflects a deep cultural heritage, blending pagan and Christian themes. Over time, a new Anglo-Saxon culture emerged, distinct from its Roman predecessor. Anglo-Saxon society was rigidly hierarchical. At the top were the kings, followed by their warriors, or thanes. Anglo-Saxon society was hierarchical with a clear social structure. The majority of the population were freemen and farmers working the land. At the bottom of the social ladder were slaves, often captured in war. The Anglo-Saxons were primarily agricultural, growing crops like wheat, barley, and oats while raising livestock. Villages consisted of wooden huts with thatched roofs, and families lived in tight-knit communities. Craftsmanship was highly developed, as seen in artifacts like the Sutton Hoo treasure, which includes ornate helmets, swords, and jewelry. Life was harsh for many, with agriculture forming the backbone of the economy. Communities were often tight-knit, bound by ties of kinship and loyalty. Initially, the Anglo-Saxons were pagan, worshipping a pantheon of gods similar to those of the Norse, including, however, Christianity began to spread among the Anglo-Saxons from the late 6th century, following the mission of St. Augustine of Canterbury in 597 CE. This process was gradual and often syncretic, with elements of pagan and Christian traditions coexisting for centuries. The establishment of monasteries, such as those at Lindisfarne and Canterbury, became centers of learning, culture, and religious life. Despite the hardships, Anglo-Saxon culture was vibrant and expressive. They were skilled artisans, crafting beautiful jewelry and weapons. Their oral tradition was rich in poetry and storytelling, with epic poems like Beowulf capturing the imagination for centuries to come. Christianity, brought to England in 597 AD, had a profound impact on Anglo-Saxon society. Monasteries became centers of learning and culture, preserving knowledge and shaping the moral fabric of the time. The Anglo-Saxon period in England came to an end in 1066 with the Norman conquest. From the late 8th century, the Anglo-Saxons faced repeated Viking invasions. The Vikings, seafaring warriors from Scandinavia, targeted monasteries and settlements for plunder. Notable Viking raids include the sacking of Lindisfarne in 793 CE. Over time, Viking settlers established the Danelaw, a region of England under Danish control. The struggle between Anglo-Saxons and Vikings dominated much of the 9th and 10th centuries. However, their influence on England was profound and enduring. The Anglo-Saxon era came to an end in 1066 with the Norman conquest. William the Conqueror defeated King Harold II at the Battle of Hastings, establishing Norman rule over England. While the Anglo-Saxons lost political control, their cultural and linguistic influence remained. The English language itself is a testament to their legacy, with its core vocabulary rooted in Anglo-Saxon. Place names ending in ham, ton, and berg are scattered across the landscape, echoes of a bygone era. Many modern English words, place names, and customs trace their origins to the Anglo-Saxons. Their legacy also lives on in their art, literature, and contributions to the early English legal and governance systems. Their legal system and social customs laid the groundwork for future developments. The Anglo-Saxons left an indelible mark on the English identity. Their story is one of resilience, adaptation, and cultural fusion. The Anglo-Saxons were a dynamic and resilient people whose migration and settlement transformed the cultural and political landscape of early medieval England. Despite their eventual absorption into Norman society, their influence endures in the language, traditions, and history of England. Their story is one of adaptation, conflict, and enduring legacy, offering a vivid glimpse into the birth of a nation. Understanding their world is key to unlocking the mysteries of England's past and appreciating the rich tapestry of its present. Thank you for watching. Until I come your way next time, stay safe and subscribe.